For too long, the victims of crime have been forgotten persons of our criminal justice system. They have become victims due to soft on crime mentality of our legislators, political actors, courts, and judges. Welcome to Justice Denied, a podcast that dives into the heartbreaking stories of innocent lives lost due to preventable circumstances. Each episode, we will shine a light on the tragic tales of individuals whose futures were unjustly taken and explore the profound impact on the families left in the wake of this loss. These are the stories of the innocent. In our society, where justice is meant to be a fundamental right, many families find themselves grappling with the unbearable reality that their loved ones will never return. We are committed to examining the systemic failures that have allowed these tragedies to occur. I'm Albert Vigil, your host. With over 36 years of experience as a bondsman, I have witnessed the complexities of our justice system firsthand. Please note that the opinions and views shared in this podcast are mine and mine only, not my family or friends. I understand that some issues I may bring up are controversial and my opinions may differ from yours. A difference of opinions should create a conversation, and those conversations should turn into solutions. My only goal here is to honor the stories of the victims and ensure they are not forgotten and history is not repeated. If you are watching this on Facebook, please share. On YouTube, please like and subscribe. My goal is that Justice Denied will unite us together in these important conversations and hopefully preventing a repeat of the same tragedy. Also, I hope that with these episodes, I can help keep the memories of the innocent lives taken preserved. Each episode will end with the remembrance of a hero lost, the end of watch for one of our fallen officers. Thanks you for joining us. These are their stories. She was only 37 years old and her life was cut short. Rachel Morin lived in Bel Air in Harford County, Maryland, a small community of about 11,000 residents. She wore many hats in her short life. She was someone's sister, a daughter, a mother of 5, and a successful small business owner. On August 5th, 2023, it was a beautiful afternoon. The night was cooler than normal, so Rachel Morin decided to go for a walk, something she had done many times before, but today would be different. She drove to the Ma and Pa Heritage Trail, a peaceful 8-mile wooded trail used by locals every day. She parked at the trailhead and started her walk. She never returned. What she didn't know when she started her walk is that a man was watching her get out of her car. He stalked her. He hunted her. He was hiding in the woods and armed with a shovel. He would use it to strike her in the head before assaulting her. When she didn't come home that night, her boyfriend reported her missing. In a tight-knit town like Bel Air, news spreads fast. Family, friends, and volunteers came together, organizing a search almost immediately. They walked the trails. They called her name, hoping she would answer. The next day, August 6th, her body was discovered in a drainage culvert off the trail. What happened to her was brutal. She had been assaulted, raped, and beaten to death. There was no knife, no gun, no rope, just brutally beaten to death. They called it a rage beating. The injuries were so severe, her family could not have an open casket funeral. Investigators later identified a suspect, Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez, through his DNA. He was 25 years old and originally from El Salvador. Authorities reported he had previously been deported several times that year, removed in January 2023 in New Mexico, then again in February 2023 in Texas. But in May of 2023, he re-entered the country again. At one point, he was arrested in Los Angeles in connection with a violent home invasion. According to reports, he was later released from jail and not transferred to federal authorities, although an immigration hold was requested. Investigators also stated he was wanted in El Salvador in connection with a homicide, and somehow, some way he remained free. Until Rachel Morin walked onto that trail on a quiet August afternoon and never came home. He left behind 5 children without a mother. Beyond the headlines, beyond the investigation, 5 children lost their mom that day, now having to grow up without the mom who was supposed to guide them through life. A family forever changed. A community left asking one question: could this have been prevented? In April 2025 in Maryland, a jury convicted Martinez Hernandez of first-degree murder, first-degree rape, third-degree sexual assault, kidnapping. The conviction was driven by DNA evidence. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, the maximum allowed. Today, Maryland no longer has the death penalty after it was abolished in 2013 when Martin O'Malley signed the law. Now consider the cost about $59,000 per year per inmate. Over 50 years, roughly $2.95 million. That is the cost to taxpayers to keep this illegal murderer alive behind bars. So, what can we learn from this? A system failed, a woman lost her life, 5 children lost their mother, and a community is left with the same question. Could this have been prevented? Your voice matters. Elections matter. Weak judges don't just make bad decisions, they put communities at risk. When repeat offenders are arrested and quickly released back onto the streets, it sends one message: there are no real consequences. Criminals learn fast. If the system is soft, they take advantage of it. They go right back out and often commit more crimes. Meanwhile, law abiding citizens are left to deal with the fear, the damage, and sometimes the tragedy that follows. Judges are supposed to protect the public first. That means holding dangerous individuals accountable, especially those criminals who entered our county not for better life, but to prey on the citizens, not giving them chance after chance till they commit a crime that takes a person's life. Because when the system fails to act, innocent people pay the price. And by then, it's too late. Now, about our fallen hero, he put on the uniform to protect his community. His name was Timothy M. Jones, a young officer with the Park Forest Police Department. At his funeral, his mom said that since he was a child, he always wanted to be a police officer and was so proud when he accomplished this. March 19th, 2016. There was a burglary in progress call. He responded. He responded and confronted a suspect. And in seconds, everything changed. He was shot. Multiple times, one of those bullets struck his head. He didn't die that day. He fought. For years, paralyzed. A life stolen in the line of duty that day on May 16th, 2016. For nearly a decade, he battled those injuries until December 3rd, 2025, when his fight finally ended. Remember his name, Detective Tim Jones. Illegal immigration and crime, this conversation is often shut down before it even begins because people are afraid to speak honestly about public safety. Let me be clear, this is not about attacking immigrants as a whole. America has always been built by people who came here legally, worked hard, followed the law, and contributed to this country in meaningful ways. Many immigrant families are part of the fabric of our communities, and they deserve respect. The real concern is illegal immigration combined with repeated failures within our criminal justice and immigration systems. When individuals enter this country illegally, commit crimes, are arrested multiple times, and are still released back into communities, that creates preventable risks. When law enforcement agencies fail to communicate, when sanctuary policies prevent cooperation, or when dangerous offenders are not removed after prior offenses, innocent people can suffer devastating consequences. We have seen heartbreaking stories across this country where families are left grieving loved ones because warning signs were ignored. Cases involving victims such as Rachel Morin and Laken Riley have sparked national conversations because many Americans look at these tragedies and ask the same question: could this have been prevented? Behind every headline is a real person. A mother who never comes home, a college student whose future is stolen, children left without parents, families left trying to understand why known offenders were given repeated opportunities to harm others. These families deserve more than political talking points. They deserve accountability. Border security matters. Enforcing immigration laws matter. Cooperation between local law enforcement and federal immigration authorities matter. And ensuring violent offenders are not repeatedly released back into society matter. These are not extreme positions. They are common sense expectations of a functioning government. We can support legal immigration while also demanding secure borders. We can show compassion prevention while still expecting accountability. We can welcome those who follow the law while protecting citizens from preventable violence. Every life lost because of preventable failures is one too many. Public safety should never be a partisan issue. The goal should be simple: protect innocent people, support victims, and make sure tragedies that could have been prevented do not continue to happen. Sanctuary City and their policies are a different matter to address and have become one of the most controversial issues in public safety because many Americans believe these policies can create gaps between local law enforcement and federal immigration authorities. Critics argue that when jurisdictions limit cooperation with agencies like U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, individuals who have committed crimes may avoid deportation proceedings and remain in communities longer than they otherwise would. The concern is not about targeting immigrants as a whole. Many immigrants, documented and undocumented, are law-abiding people trying to build better lives. The debate is about what happens when someone is arrested for serious crimes and communication failures allow repeat offenders to fall through the cracks. Families impacted by violent crimes often ask whether stronger coordination between local agencies and federal authorities could have prevented tragedy. Cases involving victims such as Rachel Morin and Laken Riley have intensified that debate. Supporters of sanctuary policies often argue they help build trust between immigrant communities and local police by making victims and witnesses more willing to report crimes. Critics argue the policies can also reduce accountability when serious offenders are involved. Both concerns are part of the public debate. The larger issue is ensuring violent offenders are identified, prosecuted, and prevented from harming others, while also protecting civil rights and maintaining trust in law enforcement. Communities want policies that prioritize safety, accountability, and prevention of avoidable tragedies. This sanctuary policy just creates a breeding ground for illegal alien criminals to migrate to and prey on its residents. I'm Albert Vigil. Thank you for listening.